I feel like my leadership role here at the Flint Center for Educational Excellence is really an intersection of all of my professional experiences prior to now. I started my work in pre-college programs, building pipelines of students from Flint, Beecher, and Westwood Heights into the University of Michigan, Flint. I was really fortunate to serve as a high school teacher in Detroit, teaching English and poetry. And it's interesting, all of our kids, no one sees themselves as an artist until they realize that we speak in poetry. But I taught right in Detroit, and I was able to really understand what's going on day to day in classrooms. And then had the opportunity to help establish the Flint and Genesee Literacy Network as its first executive director back in 2014. And I would say that the work of the Literacy Network really began our first community-wide conversation about what's needed in our system in order to truly make sure that kids and families thrive. And we built a stronger nonprofit ecosystem that was more networked and more connected. But we realized that what's happening in classrooms every day, that initial thing that I learned, right, as a teacher is really what's going to make the difference for us. And when I began talking to teachers, I talked to my colleagues. I was an 11th grade teacher. And I would ask, my kids are coming in and they're behind, where's it starting? And they're saying, you got to talk to the 10th grade teacher. And you talk to the 10th grade teachers, and they tell you to talk to the middle school teachers. And you talk to middle school, and they say, talk to the elementary teachers. And then when you get to the kindergarten teachers, they'll tell you they didn't start ready. And so that realization led me to early childhood. And I had the opportunity to spend 4 years as executive director of Educare Flint, really working to build a demonstration of what it looks like when we truly invest in early childhood education. The work of Educare Flint was really coupled with the work of the Flint Early Childhood Collaborative that focused on making sure that the work that we were doing at Educare Flint wasn't an exception, but it was the rule, right? What we expect as a bare minimum for all kids in Genesee County and in other communities like Flint and Genesee County. We did that work for 5 years, and our very first set of kiddos who started with us between 6 weeks and 6 months of age during the water crisis amid a huge time of uncertainty are now in elementary school, and they're thriving. They entered kindergarten ready despite what odds would tell you would be the outcomes of kiddos who were exposed to lead and other harmful contaminants at very early stages of their lives. As our kids began that transition, we began really thinking about what does it look like for kids to not just thrive early, but to thrive throughout their lives. And the Flint Center for Educational Excellence, in my view, was built to truly interrogate that question, but also answer it affirmatively, that if we align, link, and stack all of our community systems and all of our community's resources, all directed in the direction of kids and families and what they need, we truly can build an ecosystem, not just a housing system or just an education system or just a human service system, but a true ecosystem that works for all Flint kids and families.